All right, Elijah, you had asked about assignments 10.2 and 10.3. So we'll start with 10.2, which is lesson 2.8 in your book, adjusting quotients. Now remember, your quotient is your answer. So you are going to estimate to help yourself figure out what your quotient is going to be. So looking at the two examples that I put in showing an estimate that is too high and an estimate that is too low. So if we take a look at the first one, we had 3,382 divided by 48. There we go. And in the book, they're giving the example that I'm going to estimate these. 48 is close to 50, and 3,382 is close to 3,000. Okay, so I'm going to think 3,000 divided by 50. What is that going to be? Well, I know 30 divided by 5 is 6. So 3,000 divided by 50 is going to be 60. Okay? So my estimate or my guess is that my quotient is going to start with a 6. Okay, I know it's going to be in this tens place because 48 can't go into 33. So I know I need to move over one more spot and look at the first 3 digits. So I'm going to try this one starting out with putting a 6 in that tens place. All right, so now I'm going to just do my math like always. And 6 times 8 is 48. So I'm going to put my 8 down, carry my 4. 6 times 4 is 24. And 4 more is 28. Okay, so now I'm just going to do my subtraction. 8 minus 8 is 0. I need to regroup. My 3 becomes a 13. 13 minus 8 is 5. Okay, so I am left with 50. Now, 48 is smaller than 50. So that means that 48 is able to go into this number, at least is able to go in one more time. Okay, so my estimate of 6 is incorrect. It would be 7. Okay, so that's kind of what you're doing. If I know I get a bigger number here after I do my first round of subtraction, then I know my estimate is too small. Now, we have the flip side of that. Your estimate could be too high. Okay, so that's where the second example came in. We had 453 divided by 65. Okay, so in my mind, I'm going to kind of estimate these. 65 is close to 70. 453, knowing I'm going to do a 70, I'm going to do 490 because I know that 49 is a multiple of 7. Okay, so 7 goes into 49 7 times. Okay, so I'm going to try my estimate of 7. So 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42, plus 3 more is 45. But if I take a look at these two numbers, my number was 453, and I came up with 455. I cannot subtract a larger number from a smaller number, so I know my estimate is too high. Okay, so I would bring this down to 6 and then work through the problem to find my full answer to see if there's any remainders. Okay, so that's kind of what you're doing. So let's take a look at number 1 on page 92. Okay, They have given us the problem 1,546 divided by 41. And they have already put a 4 up here in the tens place. Now the directions are asking us to adjust the estimated digit in the quotient if needed, and then continue to divide. So for these first three, 1, 2, and 3, they have already given you an estimate. So you don't have to come up with that estimate. They just want to know, is this estimate part of the real quotient, or is it too high or too low? Okay, so we are going to start with this 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. So I can see right off the bat, 154 is smaller than 164. So 4 is too big. Okay, so this is too high. Okay, so I need to take that 4 down to a 3. So I'm just going to rewrite this problem. So I know that that 4 is not going to work. So I need to bring it down to a 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And I am able to do this subtraction because 154 is larger than 123. 4 minus 3 is 1. 5 minus 2 is 3. And 1 minus 1 is 0. I'm going to bring down that 6. Now I'm going to think, how many times do I think 41 will go into 316? I'm going to, so 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, when I do my subtraction, I can't do this, so I need to regroup. That becomes a 0, that becomes a 2. Whoops, I've gone one step too many. So 16 minus 7 is 9. My 0, so I knew I had to regroup that. My 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2. And 2 minus 2 is 0. So I have 37 with a remainder of 29. Okay, so that's how you would do 1, 2, and 3 on that page, and then 7, 8, and 9 on page 93. Okay, you're first seeing, is their estimate correct? Or is it too high or too low? Make the adjustment if it's too high or too low. And then work out the division problem so that you get the quotient. Okay, so that's what they're asking you to do for that one. All right, and then the second one you asked about, 10.3, which is lesson 2.9, which is problem solving. And they are using an array for these. Remember, an array is just kind of a fancy word for a drawing, some sort of diagram or something that is helping you solve these problems. So if we take a look on page 95, they give us the word problem. Sean and his family chartered a fishing boat for the day. Sean caught a blue marlin and amberjack. The weight of the blue marlin was 12 times as great as the weight for the amberjack. The combined weight for both fish was 273 pounds. How much did each fish weigh? Okay, so we know he caught 2 fish, a marlin and an amberjack. Together, we know that they weighed 273 pounds. Okay, now I also know that the blue marlin weighed 12 times as much. Okay, so this is where that array comes in. Okay, so this is going to be my amberjack. I'm going to label it with an A. It weighs some amount of pounds. We don't know yet. Then the marlin weighs 12 times as many as the amberjack. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the amberjack weighs 1 times whatever this is, and the marlin weighs 12 times whatever the poundage is. But I know together they weigh 273 pounds. Okay? LBS is the abbreviation for pounds. So, in order to find out how much each of these little squares is worth, how many pounds each square is worth, I have to do my division. Okay? I'm going to divide the total weight by how many I have. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I am going to divide 273 by 13. So the total weight divided by how many squares I have. Okay, well, 13 goes into 27 2 times. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. When I subtract 27 minus 26 is 1. I'm going to bring down my 3. 13 goes into 13 1 time. 1 times 13 is 13. Okay, so each square is 21 pounds. So that means the amberjack weighs 21 pounds. So that means the marlin weighs 273 minus the 21 pounds. Because remember, each of these is 21. Okay, so I can do 273 minus the 121 pounds that the amberjack weighs. 3 minus 1 is 2. 7 minus 2 is 5. 2 minus nothing is 2. So I know that the marlin weighs 252 pounds. Okay, because that is the difference between the two fish. Okay. Now you could have figured this out also by doing 21 times 12. You would have gotten the same answer. Okay, so that's how you're setting up these arrays using these diagrams to help you solve the problems in lesson 2.9. All right, if you have any other questions, please let me know.